back to Love Bug Tarot. So we are looking at the week ahead, and this is a timeless read for a week if you come across it. But we are coming into the holidays, so it is an interesting time to say the least. We're going to jump in and start shuffling. Okay. That's not happened before. I guess the deck is very excited to do stuff. All right, so we're going to get an affirmation from our very sassy affirmation deck. Let's see, get this one. Okay. So we're going to be using a Russian fortune-telling deck, which is the square deck. I'm going to put this over here. We do have a tarot deck that we'll be using later on to get clarification for things. Oh, and I also have, we have runes. We have both Celtic and Nordic runes. So we will also be using those. All right, so we are going to shuffle a very high-tech way we shuffle. If you're not familiar with this deck, again, there's timestamps below in the description, so if you want to skip ahead, you always can. But this is a square deck, and you actually use the entire deck. So that's why the camera's so far back, is you make a big square, and you end up matching the pictures. And we'll kind of talk about it as we go. If you're familiar with it, you kind of know how it does. But I've found that this deck is sticking to the table. It's fine. But it's very good, actually, at kind of giving very specifics sometimes. And I use a variety of tools to do that. We're trying a new camera angle. I'm going to see how it does. All right. Whoop. So we're going to lay out the whole deck, and then as pictures line up, I'm going to be marking them with the runes. And then, as always, we read the very last card. You read it in all its positions, because depending on how the cards line up, will dictate kind of their meaning. So as you can see, there's like 4 half pictures on each card. I like to match as I go. Make sure these are lining up. If I can line up the first row, it's usually a little easier for the rest of it. Some people will lay out the whole grid and then match it. There's no really wrong or right way to do it. It's your preference. Ooh, actually, this one matches up perfectly. Did not plan that, but there it is. All right, so let's get, all right, we got 2 Celtic runes. We have the Celtic runes for creating, start, skills, and prosperity, with the picture of the boy in its 4th position, which is basically a reverse. So we'll see. Let's see. Ooh. All right, we got the ring. Fancy. And it's cold right now, so I'm in like a very fluffy, fuzzy sweater. It has little imprints of Stitch on it because he's my favorite Disney princess. All right, let's see. We have Hagalaz. That's the Norse rune of Hagalaz, which is interesting with the ring. Because the ring can symbolize partnership. I'll try to keep the reading till we get everything out, but sometimes it's like I just make little observations as we go. It's a habit. All right, nothing there. We've got the bridge. Okay, a lot of images are lining up. Sometimes there's only like 1 or 2, and then sometimes a bunch will line up. So that's why I tend to just do one reading, because depending on how many pictures line up, this can take a while. All right, so we have a Norse rune, and it's wounds and healing with the bridge. Okay. I have a feeling with Hagalaz and the ring, it's going to be eventful. Wow. Okay, yeah, things are just... It's interesting as I've pulled the cards out, a couple of these, I've just slid the card into place. I haven't had to, like, rearrange anything. This week could be things, I want to say, like, kind of falling into place for you. We'll see. Berquana. Okay. And that's with the knot in the first position. I'm so glad they put little arrows on this. That is very helpful. Okay. Nope, nothing there. And at the end, I always take some time to stare deeply into this and see if I've missed anything. I always cut that out. And sometimes I still miss stuff, and I've been in the middle of reads before, and something is, I'm like, those two line up. So it happens. So if I miss it, I miss it. No big deal. I always see it as I will see the pictures I'm meant to see. Those are the ones that will come forward. Okay. Let's see. Nope. Okay. We've got 2 more rows. We're still in frame. We are still in frame. Excellent. It's like my worst fear is just laying cards down and it's just completely off screen. Nobody wants that. Ooh, okay. Got an owl. And, ooh, okay, so this is a situation where I actually have 2 pictures lining up on the same card. But I can't, well, I could, but it would be difficult to have these line up in the same way. Like, it can't match, so I'm going to put, yeah, so if this picture would be aligned in this position, and if we turned it, these 2 would line up. So because of that, I'm going to lay one on each to remind myself that there are 2. Oh, okay, so we both have Norse runes. We have Tewaz. Oh, goodness. The Rune of Protection. I always forget the name of this one. I'll look it up. Sometimes brain don't want to brain too good, and it just be braining. A lot of images. Wow. Okay. We haven't had one quite like this in a bit, so this could be kind of a big week. We have the hearse, which is interesting. We'll look into that deeper, but the hearse is an image that comes up definitely when you need to look out for your physical well-being. Peace, support, and wheel movement. All right, we'll put these with the words right side up. Nope, it's a card over. Okay, double check. Anybody else? Nope. Okay. Oh. These 2 I keep wanting to line up, but they're catty-cornered from each other. So that's a no. All right. How is this last row looking? Ooh, we're just sliding in. Okay. Oh, and we have the lilies. Yeah, we haven't... This is gonna probably be a longer read. Transformation and power with the lilies. I've just... It's been a while since we've had this many images from the get-go come out, so that is very interesting. Okay, let's see. Nope. Alright, so then we've got one more. Don't see anything there. Sometimes they'll line up with these cards, but no. Alright, so we're going to grab Ooh. All right, so you have the Norse rune of wisdom. There's a lot happening this week, and I just saw the pig. Dang it. And I can't. Come on. There we go. That works. And as I was saying, as much as is going on this week, and again, we're kind of coming around the holidays. Yes, this is a timeless read, but this could also be in the future a time period you're going through where there's just a lot going on. You could have a lot happening, a lot on your plate. Ooh. Okay, we have the Norse rune of gateways. I'm blanking on some of these names. Good lord. Thurazaz. I was like, there's two T's. This is Tiwaz. This is Thurazaz. All right. Let me forget one. It's not Alyis. It might be Alyis. I'll check. The spelling is not helpful for pronouncing the name. We'll just put it that way. Anyways, but this last card, we do have a castle, the handshake, we have the birds, and the clover. So those four pictures together, and because we're reading all of the last card, you always read in the upright positions. No matter what's going on for you this week, know that I really do feel like things are going to turn out for the best. There's this particular group of pictures is pretty positive for that. So I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to look around. There's a lot of things lining up for you this week. I'm going to take a look and see if any other pictures match up. And I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I did not see any other... I'm checking. I say that and then sometimes something will pop out, but I don't see any other pictures matching up. So we are going to go ahead and get our affirmation. Oh, okay. This one's come out quite a bit for everybody. Doing the affirmation cards for the weekly readings. So that's very interesting that this one keeps popping back up. It says, listen, you're one of the lucky ones that made it to today. Appreciate that. So there's definitely a message of like gratitude and also kind of being present in the moment. And I feel like that's definitely linking up with everything that's happening. There is a lot on the board. It's been a minute since we've had this many. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've not, oh, okay, not counting this. Wait, did I count that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 total with the last card. But that's a lot. There's a lot going on. And again, it just so happens this reading is coinciding with the holidays coming up and this kind of period of, I feel like for a lot of people can be quite chaotic. So let's take a dive in and we're going to start up here, this first row with our boy. So that's number 13. Whoop. Hey, open to it. I love it when that happens. Okay, so number 13 is currently in its 4th position. The 4th position for pictures tends to be, not always, but tends to be a more challenging energy. So the symbol for the boy is adventure. In its 4th position here, it's an unexpected meeting or date. I think, wait, date, is that... Oh, okay, so meeting or like a outing with a person of interest kind of date. I thought maybe it was like a calendar date. Anyways, that tells you how my mind works. Okay. Unexpected meeting dates. So we do have skills, prosperity, creating, and start. So there's definitely a meeting happening here that is... It's interesting that that is the first one that comes up, too. Like, that is the first in the row. Something is kicking off your week. Something is going to start your week off. And it's going to be unexpected. And it's interesting, skills and prosperity is here, too. this really, I feel it's not so much as like a romantic meetup kind of thing, but an unexpected skills prosperity, like something in your career, in your work, in your studies. Well, okay. Yeah, career, studies, work, something like you're getting the downside of nails is that it sticks. Dang it. All right, here we go. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, and we have the Five of Wands and the High Priestess. This is something I feel like, yes, it says it's unexpected, like an unexpected meeting, and maybe that is true, but it's something you've also felt coming. And with the Five of Wands, this could be like you standing out from like a competition, like standing above the noise because of your skills. You're getting recognized in some capacity. And again, this is an adventure. And the reason why I say you've felt it coming, it could be something you've been expecting to happen, something that's like, hey, this is going to happen, like any day now kind of thing. You just don't know how. You're not sure how it's going to come about, but you feel it's been there. Or you felt it kind of building or coming up, which is really interesting because the next one we have is our ring. So some kind of, let's see, what is that, 25? Yeah. Yeah, so the ring is a relationship between two people. You think of, and this it's showing, I think, a stereotypical like wedding ring, like the union that's going to happen between people. So this picture is currently in its second position, which is interesting because, okay, this is written, again, this is a very flowery book. It certainly has its biases with, how do I put this? Societal and gender roles. So I'll translate best I can. So it's the relationship between two people. In its second position, it says engagement to a rich person. Again, you're going to use air quotes for that. So I'm feeling that, again, we were talking about something unexpected. If you're looking at it from a career standpoint, and again, we have Hagalaz here, something disruptive, very disruptive. But something that's disruptive doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. Something can be disruptive and can be good as well. So it says engagement to a rich person. This could be, I feel, more of a situation. Maybe it is a person for some of you. For this, like this, whatever is starting. I feel for most of you, this is doing with something in your skill set, whether it's career, whether it's your studies. It's something in your skill set, especially with prosperity as well happening here. So engagement to a rich person, I'm translating as this is a union or an opportunity for that prosperity. Like getting a grant, getting a scholarship, like suddenly you have the resources, the prosperity to back up your studies, or a job opportunity that because of your skills, this adventure you're going on, you're also gaining prosperity from it. And because it's like you've felt it coming, you just didn't know how it was going to go down. With Hagalaz here, I kind of get this sense that it's happening in a way you don't expect, and it might be something, it's like you thought, oh, okay, it'll be, this experience is going to be like max 8 out of 10. It ends up being like a 12. It just exceeds all expectation. Like I have a feeling it's going to kind of blow you out of the water. Oh, hey, 2 again. Okay, so you got the moon and the star. You have 17 and 18. Things are lining up for you. There is definitely, keep an eye out for the signs and synchronicities. Absolutely. You have 2 cards that came out in consecutive order. They're both majors. You have the star and the moon. So this is something, again, the moon, very high priestess energy as well. something that you couldn't quite see yet. Something's coming to the surface. And it could be that, again, you felt this is coming. Things have been moving in the background, things you couldn't see. Maybe you weren't meant to see yet. You know, this was something that, again, with the star as well. When I said like it exceeds your expectations, it's like beyond your wildest dream. Oh, the star and the moon. What's the quote? Aim for the moon and land among the stars, kind of thing. Like with the Five of Wands here, if there was some kind of competition or like application process or something, like it's applying for something and it's getting not only like, yes, you got your application went through, you get it, but also you qualify for a scholarship. And oh, by the way, also it would require you to move to a place you've always wanted to go. Oh, and also they're going to pay for you to move. Oh, and also you get, so it's just like all this extra stuff that you were just like, whoa. And again, I'm using it as an example. But this is very exciting. And it's interesting, again, you're one of the lucky ones that made it. You're one of the lucky ones that made it. And it's not saying that you're not grateful for this. I really get the sense the affirmation card is talking about kind of being in the moment, acknowledging your luck, also acknowledging your skill. There's something to be said. Someone once told me, and it's always stuck with me, is that success is skill, like your skill, you're being prepared, meeting opportunity. You have your skills in place, you are prepared, an opportunity comes and you can just, boom, go for it. And that's how success happens. So I feel it's definitely kind of in that avenue. Okay. This is fascinating. I'm just like very into your read right now. Kind of getting very like exciting energy coming from this. All right, so number 46 is the bridge. Nope, too far. Okay, so the bridge, its general meaning is deliberate change. Excuse me. Hold on. Confirmation burp. Yes. Okay. So in its third position, again, this book is very flowery. It says, no matter where you go, the past will pursue you. Sure. However, we also have wound and healing here. This is something, whatever you've been pursuing, again, if this is an area of study, of skill, of career, it could be a hobby, a passion, something that you've been pursuing and building upon. You've been doing it for a while. You've been doing this for quite some time, especially with the bridge. And that phrase, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it, is coming to mind. That's for someone, I don't know. But anyways, with the wound and healing rune here, I get the sense that part of this action, this disruption that's taking place, this shift that is happening for you, is in itself very healing. And it could be because there's been so much competition. You've been working at this for quite some time. Yeah, no matter where you go, the past will pursue you. I'm seeing that more of a... Yeah, Page of Swords. More of a message of don't forget where you came from. This feels like a big shift. So as things shift, it's be in the moment, yes, but don't, it can be very healing. But and I don't feel like you, because again, you have the Page of Swords, a very mental card. Things are going to change for you mentally as well. This could be you know, a mental wound, like the way you talk to yourself, you know, and it could be something that you've been working on mentally to, you know, be kinder to yourself mentally. And it's one thing to do that and to do that in practice. It's another thing to have your outside world reflect that. And let's say it's like, again, a job application and you applied for it and you're like, okay, it's out of my hands. I'm letting it go. I've done the best I can. I know I'm right for this. I know I did a good job. You can tell that to yourself over. There is something to be said about having it affirmed for you as well. I would just Six of Cups. Yeah, something you've been working on for a long time. This is a wound. This is a healing with this bridge. Like you're crossing that bridge of, and again, the page here has them kind of crossing this gap here. They're kind of tiptoeing across this gap on a sword. It's the Page of Swords. You know, just through, you know, their ideas and their mental fortitude. And it's something you've been working at for a long time. That's come up a couple times, for sure. So yeah, with the wound healing and the bridge, it's not so much that like something is pursuing you or going to, quote, catch up to you. Okay, I say that, but then also at the same time, it could be that sometimes when things catch up to us, it can be a good thing. Again, I'm just using the example of, let's say you put in an application for something and suddenly you get back, we were talking about all that stuff, the example of like you get, you know, the scholarship and all of this, and you get all of that stuff and you're looking at it and it's like you have a moment and it's overwhelming and you cry because this is something you've been working towards, and you know, people in the past, or you even told yourself in the past, you know, oh, you know, we've all had those moments of, you know, telling ourselves like, oh, I'm not worthy of this, and imposter syndrome, and all of these things surface and bubble up, and you have a good cry, and then you're like, okay. And that can be very cathartic. So if something like that does come up for someone, and this could be very specific to an individual, if something like that does come up, something shifts, something big happens, you know, and you're staring down the opportunity of some big changes in your life for the better. You know, if those feelings come up, that feeling of being overwhelmed, don't be afraid to cry. You know, let it out. That is so cathartic. And if you need, don't, make sure to ask for support. I was going to say, like, don't try to like bottle it up. You don't have to go through it. Even like good stuff can also be very overwhelming. So make sure you take the time to have grace with yourself and reach out if necessary to trusted individuals, to a mental health professional, someone, even if it's just to like talk through those emotions, because they can be very big. But I really do feel like this is a point where there is, especially maybe even a childhood wound, can start going through an even deeper healing. I wouldn't say start going through healing. I have a feeling that you've been doing this for a while. You've been pursuing this for a while. You've been walking the path, and that in itself is very healing. Now that it's being kind of like validated, not even validated, what you see for yourself internally is reflecting externally. These two things are now syncing up. That can be very overwhelming. So just, yeah, have that grace with yourself. Okay. 40. We have number 40 with the knot. Okay. Ooh, so 40, which is really interesting because we have Berquana. The Norse room for Berquana can be like fertility, again, new beginnings. Can also, again, when it's talking about fertility, can reference like starting a family. We'll get to that in a second. Berquana with the knot is the symbol for family ties. It's interesting. It's in the first position, which is you have tied strong knots for a lifetime. You've made very strong bonds. So I don't get the sense that it's literally meaning like starting a family. This could be more of a situation of a chosen family, which could also involve, you know, your blood family as well. Everybody's situation is different. There could be, again, like, yeah, these new tie. Ooh, the Ace of Cups. Okay. Yeah, this could be. And the, oh, Ace of Cups and the Eight of Cups. Very emotional. Okay. So with this kind of setup, we have Ace of Cups, Eight of Cups, Berquana, this kind of idea of strong familial ties. Something is starting with like I would say like a soul family. There's going to be a connection, and I feel like it's this group, like your group of people that are around you. Some are going to be new, but some not necessarily. Maybe some of these people have been with you for a long time. But with the Ace of Cups, I get the sense, and the Eight of Cups, it's that relationship, that dynamic is changing. And not necessarily in a bad way. There could be an instance where some of you may have to leave some people behind as these changes are starting to happen. And that could be something else you've been kind of feeling coming, and certainly be part of the Hagalas, this kind of big disruption happening in your life. It's like, the idea is like you have a big change in your life, and not everybody is ready to come with you, ready to walk with you to this new path. So the dynamic is changing. And that doesn't mean you're losing people. It could be that as the dynamic changes, there could be a divergence of paths. You know, I don't really necessarily feel anything volatile. I was trying to find the right word, like volatile in that capacity. Okay, with the Tower, I'm like, it's not volatile, it's fine. Hi, Tower. Okay, so with the Tower, I feel like it's like, it won't be volatile. That being said, little asterisk footnote there, it doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean that realizing that you may have to walk away from people, from a situation, that doesn't make it easy, even if it is amenable. Is that the right word? Amiable? Even if, like, everybody is on, quote, good terms, it doesn't mean that, like, walking away for something is easy. You know, so this dynamic of your family bonds, your family ties, is going to change. But I really feel the people who are sticking with you, the people who are going to be walking this path with you through this chaos, I don't have a better word for it, through this change, like those people are going to be your heart family. Those are the people who are going, again, they were talking about, you know, strong knots, strong ties, strong bonds. Those are the people who are going to really stick with you and really love you for you. Not because of this change, not because of anything else, just because you are you. And that's very precious. So that's a lovely message. A difficult one as well. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And we were talking earlier about like those overwhelming feelings, and it could be with the High Priestess again, like the High Priestess and the Moon. Yeah. You are someone I feel like you know. Intuitively you do know what this is and who perhaps this is talking about. So make sure you give yourself that grace with that bridge. Okay, then we move on to our 2, 3, 4, 5 And I haven't forgotten this one. Again, lots going on. Wow. Okay. So we're going to start with the pig. Yeah, that's the next one in line. All right. So number 45. The piggy. All right. So our little piggy here is earthly pleasures. The second position is purely an earthly happiness. So definitely we were talking about something changing in like your physical reality, or it like things are starting to match up from if you've been doing like manifestation, like things you've been visualizing, things are lining up for you now. And it's interesting with Thorazaz here. This is the it's a gateway in a way, but also you can almost see it as like a thorn. It's like a gateway, but with lessons that have been learned. So it's a gateway, but sometimes it's a painful gateway. That, to me, tells me that you've been, like we said, you've been doing this, or you've been pursuing this for quite some time, and it's not always been an easy road. It's been difficult, I would say. And because we have the pig here with the earthly pleasures, things are going to be changing now. I really strongly feel in your physical reality. If we get the King of Pentacles, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Here we go. Oh, but we do have the Two of Cups. So, yes. And, okay, that's really fascinating. Because, again, we were talking up here with the ring. And that kind of relationship happening. So for some of you with your group of people, there could be a relationship that is going to stand out to you as far as the possibility for romantic partnership. And for others, it's going to be, you've been, again, like, well, both. You've been waiting for this partnership. Whether it's a romantic partnership, a business partnership, an alliance of sorts. Excuse me, I'm burping a lot. This connection, this is something that you've been waiting for. And it's something in the physical realm, very tangible. Okay, we have the Emperor. I was like, man, King of Pentacles, but the Emperor is also pretty dang good. With the Emperor, this is something that is very stable. Very stable, very solid. This is not something fleeting. So if it is a partnership, it's not like a one-time gig and then you're done. You know, this is a long-term job. This is something, and especially with the Emperor, again, we're dealing with the major arcana. This is a substantial change. With Thorazaz here, this is a gateway you're stepping into. That, again, you're the only one who can step into it. No one can make you do anything. Certainly not a tarot read. This could just be a confirmation for you, by all means. But I really do feel a lot of you are stepping through this gateway, and it's been not an easy process. You've gone through quite a number of lessons and trials as well, but you're moving into this more stable and reciprocal energy with the Two of Cups too. The Two of Cups as well. La, la, la. Okay. These are all clustered together, so these might be its own little message. We're going to see, especially with the fox. All right, so the fox is number 14. Interesting, the boy is 13. Again, a lot of consecutive numbers. So the fox here is a symbol of deceit. In its second position, it says, a falsity will be revealed. We were talking about the moon, something coming up to the surface. And with Tiwaz here, this is the Norse rune, and it's kind of like a spear. Oh, okay. All right, something's gonna drop. We were talking about things falling into place. I don't think you have to. I think. Ooh, someone's gonna slip up. That was interesting. That literally just fell. I thought I had a good hold on something, and it fell out of my hand. Maybe someone is going to slip up. And it's interesting. We have Tiwaz, which is the warrior's rune. It's discipline and sacrifice. Let's get some cards. But I have a feeling it's because you haven't strayed from this path. You've kind of kept at it for a long period of time. And because you have... Yeah, ooh, Nine of Swords. And the Knight of Pentacles. Somewhat, okay. All right, we're just going to go with it. So the message kind of coming through here is like someone slipping up because of their guilt. Like with the Nine of Swords, it's like they just can't take it anymore, or it's become so overwhelming. It's kind of like someone who starts a tiny lie, like a little lie, and they're like, oh, it won't hurt anybody. But over a long period of time, it keeps going and going and going. It gets bigger and bigger. You have to lie to cover that lie, and then you have to cover those lies, so you have to lie again. And that kind of energy where it keeps getting bigger. And the Knight of Pentacles, this is something that's been going on for a while. Something that's been building for a while as well. Could be something financial or in the physical realm, because we're working with the Knight of Pentacles. Ooh, the World. Yeah, it's the end. Something is slipping up. Someone or something is slipping up. Whatever falsity is revealed is going to, with the World, it's like it's the end, but also a beginning. We have a lot of messages here of like something new starting. Something is starting, and for something to start, something has to end. So this could be also calling to attention like an end of a period of this deceit. For some of you, it could be external, could be someone else, and for some of you, it could be internal, especially with this Nine of Swords. Like, again, we were talking about this healing. You've been so disciplined on this path moving forward for such a long time. When things kind of come to fruition, it gives you a sense of like you can't deceive yourself anymore. You can't tell yourself, oh, you know, well, I'm not good enough because I haven't gotten XYZ. Well, now you have XYZ and ABC. You've gotten more, so it's like you can't deny, you can't deceive yourself. You can't deny that you're, you know, what you're doing, what you have been doing is paying off for a reason, because you have the skills. You have, down here, I'm going to say you have the skills and the wisdom to do this, which is huge. So again, everybody has a very different lived reality, so it's going to resonate differently for people. But yeah, something is kind of, we were talking about dynamics shifting, again with that like family dynamic, whether it's chosen or otherwise. This can also be internal as well. Could be both. So very eventful week, and we still have 4 to go. My goodness. Okay. All right, so 8, the hearse. I'm very interested in this one. Because the hearse, yeah. So the hearse is, I mean, it's like, I always think of like little Snow White, 7 Dwarfs kind of vibe happening here. But it's basically like, you know, something you put a coffin in. It's a danger to the physical or emotional state. In its 3rd position, it's an unquestionable unpleasantness to which you'll be subjected or fall prey to. Okay, yeah, I have a feeling these two are connected, because this unpleasantness, there's going to be, I don't want to, there's going to be some unpleasantness in this. When things change, it's difficult. It can be difficult, it can be stressful when things change, especially if someone else is used to a status quo. They're used to perhaps you being in a certain way, in a certain role, and that suddenly changes. Sometimes people have a problem with that. Their own insecurities come up and they end up projecting them and hurting other people. But it's also interesting, we have wheel and movement, and here we have the world, which has the Ouroboros in the background, the snake kind of eating its own tail, this wheel imagery coming back. Peace and support is here as well. Okay, let's get some tarot cards. So this unpleasantness that is going to crop up, it's one of those things that, especially we have Hagalaz and the Tower on the board, it's not something that you can avoid. However, peace, support, wheel, and movement, it is something that is going to come and go. It is not going to be long term. This is something that it's part of the process, but it's not going to linger. You have peace and support around you. Yeah, ooh, 9 of Cups. So no matter this unpleasantness that crops up, let's say, you are going to get through it. You have support, and it is going to move. It's going to move out of your life, I have a feeling. It's one of those, and the Queen of Swords. So when this unpleasantness comes up, whether it's a situation, a person, Queen of Swords energy is, I feel, going to be very important here. Oh, my computer's doing something. Hold on. Are we still going? Okay, yes. We're not going to cut that out. Whatever. All right. Computer, behave. So the Queen of Swords energy is going to be important to embody. It's the idea of taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture. And just like we were talking about with, some people not liking change because, they've liked it the way it was, even if you are changing and growing, not everybody can go with that. Again, the 8 of Cups. Not everybody can walk with you. So taking a step back and maybe, I'd say, but like taking the moral high ground, which feels pretentious, but I hope you know what I'm referring to. It's like taking a moment to take a step back and look at the situation without being attached to it, like emotionally. And that can be really hard, especially if it's people very close to you. And as an example, this big change is happening and they're like, oh, well, I liked it better when it wasn't like this, or you've changed so much. Like there's these comments coming up that are kind of undermining this success you're having, this big change that's coming in. Instead of, like, you ask for help and they just start giving you critiques or criticism, even instead of like, okay, what do you need? What can I do to help? That kind of energy. Taking a step back, and instead of getting mad and reacting, taking a step back, taking a breath, and responding. Use that Queen of Swords energy where it's like, okay, this person is, let's say they think they're trying to help by protecting me, by being honest. I'm using big air quotes there. Oh, there's risk involved. There's this, there's that. And it's like, or you could come and help me. Like you could come and help me plan. You could help me do some research on places to live, or any kind of thing. Like instead of coming to help with the solution, they're just there to shoot you down. Example. However, you have the 9 of Cups here. This is something that is a wish come true. It is something that you are good at, that just lights you up inside. Like it is like a childhood dream that you're pursuing. And there could be some jealousy there. So this unpleasantness is unpleasant and will be unpleasant. However, take a step back, kind of, if you can, as much as you can, detach emotionally from the situation. And, just, even if it's just, you can see where these people are coming from, you can see, again, from a higher perspective, you can kind of see the big picture of maybe what's going on with them. And if that's where we were talking about family ties, of something coming to light, something coming up, it's whatever falsity, and maybe this is something where this other person, these other people, this, whatever it is, was even maybe lying to themselves. In a way, they were deceiving themselves because it was easier than actually facing what was reality. That's for someone specific. But this is going to move on, especially with the Nine of Cups here, which is such a wonderful card to get in this situation. So as unpleasant as this unpleasantness is, you will move through it. It will move on. You will have peace. You will have support. And especially once this is resolved, whether it is walking away, whether, in whatever circumstances this is, again, we were talking about bridges up here, this wound healing, it could be separating yourself from a situation, however it goes for the individual. Because again, this is a general read. However that goes, know that when you move beyond that, there will be peace. And don't forget your peace in the situation as well. Like taking those moments, if you need to take a step back, like I would hope whatever this is respects your boundaries. And if it's like, we will talk about this, but I need a moment to calm down, I need a moment to collect myself, do so. Like establish those boundaries and if you need to, take a step back. Go for a walk, if you meditate, if you go running, if you read cards, whatever it is, make sure to take a moment for yourself. For sure. Ooh, big week. Okay. The owl, which was twisted here, but with all these, yeah, we're gonna roll with that. Okay. Someone, I'm sure, will tell me if I've gotten it wrong. I am not the best at pronouncing the runes, but I do try. All right, so the owl. The owl is a symbol for problems with immediate projects. Ooh, okay. In its first position, it's at the present time, you will want to act unwisely. I have a feeling this also is referring to our hearse over here. When we were talking about taking a step back from the situation, from the person, and before responding, this is like acting impulsively. Problems with immediate projects. Okay. It's interesting if I'll use too, because this is a rune for protection as well as what's the word? We're trying. Not community. Oh my goodness. People coming together to help you out. I can't, there's a word. And my brain is blanking. All right. Ooh. Okay. We have the Ace of Wands. So in this situation that is happening, this big change that is clearly affecting your external physical world, I'm definitely getting the sense of like, we're channeling Treebeard here for a second for you Lord of the Rings fans, of like, don't be hasty. Don't be hasty. This is something that is, the devil. So this is something, whether it is in response to this unpleasantness, response to the changes that are happening, don't get ahead of yourself. And I know that's easier said than done. Don't feel you have to do it by yourself either. there's definitely this underlying message of community and support around you. With the devil here, there could be these negative self-thoughts that are lingering of like, I don't want to, I should be able to handle this myself. The imposter syndrome with this big change, you're gaining all of these resources. Don't be hasty. Don't feel like you have to change things overnight. This, I feel, is going to be a much slower process. Like, yes, you can definitely, you can get the acceptance letter of, let's say a job or a scholarship or something. You can get the acceptance letter, but it could be for like June of next year. Or it's, we were talking about the example of like, oh, you got a job and they're going to help you move and all. That's going to take a couple months. That could be something that is long term. You don't have to do it by yourself. You don't have to do it overnight. Like, yes, this is an amazing opportunity for growth, for physical resources to change. Excuse me. And know that you are, like, there are people here to support you. You don't have to rush into it. And you don't have to do it alone. I think that's the biggest thing. Yeah. The phrase there is very, very, I think, pretty straightforward. It's, at present time, you want to act unwisely. And that could be if you're in a situation you're just like, I just want to get out of it. I want to leave. I want to turn around and just go. You may need to, again, go back to your Queen of Swords. Pull back. Take a look at the big picture. Cut through the BS in your brain. And it's like, no. Let's take this one step at a time. Strength. Yeah. You have the strength. You have the strength to do this, hands down. You have the strength to take a breath and go slow. Again, and this is a card as well showing a person that's like half lion, half human. There is a transformation happening here, but it's a slow, I'm getting, especially with the pentacles, it's a slow process. You can let this unfold as it is. Let it unfold. Find your stability. Find your people. Let things kind of naturally unfold. Not to say that you can't instigate something, but you don't have to like do it overnight. You don't even have to do it in a week, unless there's a deadline for something. And then, of course, exceptions to every rule. Playing a lot of cards for this, but I feel like this is important. We have the Six of Pentacles and the King of Cups. Again, the Six of Pentacles with these hands that are like offering help. The Six of Pentacles can also talk about reciprocity. And again, asking for help. You are protected in this. You have support around you. Finding your center is going to be so much more important than instant gratification of like making changes, make it now, go. Take a moment and like find your center with the King of Cups. Especially we're talking about like this healing, this wound healing, the emotion. Could be a sense of overwhelm. You may need a minute. You just give yourself a minute. Give yourself that grace to kind of just find your center again. Even if your center shifts, even if your center is something new, that's okay. Give yourself the grace and the time to do so. You don't have to jump into it right away. Okay. So with number 30, the lily over here, we also have transformation and power, which is number 30. Nope, too far. Keep going. There we go. Okay, so the lily is a symbol for faithfulness. In its second position, it says, you will know in life faithfulness till death, which is dramatic, but sure. And as we were talking about, like, this unpleasantness coming in, possibly with other people or a person, this change, especially if wanting to change, and I get that, like, in the age of instant gratification, and I am also guilty of this, sometimes you're just like, no, I just want it done and over with. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Sometimes we need to take our time. Sometimes we need to trust in the timing around us and let go of that control. And I think it's wonderful that this faithfulness is here. And the message is, you will have, and again, transformation and power. As this transformation happens, and I have the sense it's going to definitely shift some power dynamics within your life. The people who are coming with you, the things that are coming with you, are going to be there for you. And that, I feel, is a very profound message. Ooh, 4 of Cups. It may surprise you, actually, what's coming with you. Okay, the 4 and the 5 of Cups. It could be that in the past. For, again, the consecutive cards, 4 and 5. I mean, 4 and 5, we had, what was it, 17, 18. We've had a couple cards come out very consecutive, but in the past, there may have been a sense of not having emotional support. The 5 of Cups is about grief. It really is, like disappointment, loss. It could be that in the past, the people who you felt were supposed to come with you didn't. It could be that the revelations that are coming forward as this change happens, as this dynamic shifts, are disappointing to you. And with the 4 of Cups too, I also get the message of, like, don't let those instances taint your outlook. So even if, this person has to pour out 4 of these, the 3 of these cups are empty and they're pouring out the 4th one. The 5th one is still full. The 5th one can still come with them. Even though these 3 cups are very dull and there's nothing in them, this 4th cup is kind of coming out of nowhere. Someone's handing that, and it's full of this rainbow. I don't know, I just feel like that imagery is very important. But know that and it's interesting that's like this one's being poured out, and there's still a full one here. So, like, even if your surrounding, let's say your group of people shrinks, you still have people around you. Even if it's one other person, you still have a person. You still have that support. You still have people that will stand by you during this, which is going to be important especially as things move forward with the Chariot. The Chariot is also there's this speed to it. Kind of going with the flow too. Like going with the movement as things kind of unfold. Just the phrase rolling with the punches comes out. Like, it could be a bit of a turbulent week. And that's, we were also talking about boundaries and take care of yourself this week. 100%. So we were getting the phrase with the owl of don't be hasty. And I really feel like that's, don't be hasty with yourself and your situation. Don't be hasty with just with the bridge. I'm just getting the sense of burn it all, walk away. It's no. Things may speed up, and this might sound counterintuitive, but as things speed up, you may need to slow down. So as, let's say, this opportunity, what's coming in is changing, things are coming up, maybe you do have to kind of start setting things in motion. And you're looking at the future going like, oh man, this is going to be a big change. As those things are happening and moving, you need to make sure you take time for yourself and don't get overwhelmed. That is going to be key. I need a sip of tea. Been talking for over an hour. Okay. Okay. Whew. That was a lot. All right. We're going to get to our last card. And the board is very full, but I'm going to do my best. Put this here. Okay. I'm burping a lot. I don't do this until I start reading tarot and talking. Never fails. Okay. We're going to start out with castle. The castle up here, which is a symbol for security. Oh god. Okay, so this, we read them all in the first position, and I kind of roll my eyes because, again, this book is very flowery. And it says, fulfillment of hopes, although at the end of your life, which sounds not great. It's like, oh wow, so I get my hopes fulfilled, you know, at the end? That feels kind of sucky. In this case, I again, I'm going to interpret this as best I can. Because this is about a castle. This is about security. A castle isn't built overnight. We were talking again about, you know, you don't have to do things overnight. This is something that is going to be a long-term growth, a long-term change. That being said, we also have the rune of wisdom here. We have the Norse rune of wisdom. You have the wisdom and the foresight, I feel, to make those plans, to start, you don't have to put them all, to start putting things in place for the future. And it's like fulfillment of hopes, although at the end of your life, I don't know, it just, the way this book is written sometimes, I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Just, I get the sense it's reinforcing that we were talking about the instant gratification. Things are not going to just like poof overnight happen. In fact, this is going to be something long term. This is, your reality is starting to match up with what you have envisioned for yourself, and that's going to take time to come to fruition. It's not going to be something that happens in the next day, the next week, even the next month, or the next year. This could be something that, again, is going to grow over time. Page of Wands. I have a feeling it's going to start, though, interesting with the Page of Swords up there, it's going to start, though, through something you are passionate about. Because we're dealing with wands, we're dealing with the suit of fire, things that you're passionate about, things that light you up. This growth, this movement towards security, this building of your legacy is something that is going to start because of what you are passionate about. So with the Three of Swords, I just got the message of like, don't beat yourself up because it doesn't happen instantly. And also at the same time, don't let the heartbreak of the past stop that joy from that Page of Wands, the joy you have from your passions. And also there's a message here, I think, of burnout. Again, I'm thinking it's very much long term. Your wisdom rune here is going to be extremely important about taking care of yourself. Again, taking moments as things speed up, slow down. Make sure to take moments for yourself. Find your center, your King of Cups. Your Queen of Swords, make sure to take that time to look at the large picture. That's going to be really important. Okay, so 36 with the handshake. Ooh, nope. One more. Okay, and again, this is... Okay, so remember how the ring was like the relationship between two people? The handshake is the state of union between two people. So there's definitely a connection happening here in some capacity. In the first position, it says a strong friendship will be a support to you for your entire life. And we had that message over here with the lily as well. And the knot. We've had several messages of like people coming with you. And I feel like going forward, you're going to have that wisdom to like, you know, when people are being false. You'll be able to tell. Like, you'll gonna have that vibe. And it's also gonna help that, ooh, yep. It's also gonna help that you will have the people you need around you who really genuinely care about your well-being. With the Empress here, I also get the sense of like, we had Bearquana as well. This fertility, like you're going to grow something amazing. You're going to be moving into a very fertile, a very prosperous part of your life. Like a chapter is changing and turning into this. And from that, you're going to know, I just get the sense of like the people around you are going to be your people. That's going to be your circle of people. Whether it's a person, singular, or a group. Whether it is chosen family, if it's blood family, if it is a combination thereof, you are going to know of like, no, these are my people. This is my support. And again, there's these messages of really strong partnerships, strong ties, strong bonds coming in. Like I said at the beginning, like this is a good card. I really like this card as a whole. These 4 pictures is great because 12 is the birdies, which is freedom. So the birds represent freedom from responsibilities, and its first position is joy and merriment with wisdom. Like I don't know what else to say. Ooh, 7 of Swords. With joy and merriment, this freedom from responsibilities with the birds and wisdom. And the birds. Ooh, the crows here as well. I have the sense that there's going to be the possibility. How do I phrase this? Okay. The 7 of Swords can be a little shady sometimes. And I'm getting the example of like someone who comes into prosperity, and not saying that this is you, but I'm using as an example of like someone who comes into prosperity or power or money or resources of some kind, and it kind of goes to their head and they go on a power trip, and it's like, well, I don't have to do that anymore, and they can do more harm than good. They can get involved perhaps in some unsavory or even illegal activities because they don't think they don't think they can be held accountable for their actions. I'm not saying that's you. I am not saying that. Because with wisdom here, there could be that something around you tries to maybe tempt you of like, hey, that would be an easy thing, whether it's a person who comes into your life or, again, we had a lot of talk here about like possibly cutting ties with someone. But if that comes up, you do have the wisdom to be like, no. There's having fun. Yes, there's joy and merriment and, understanding the blessings around you, and then remaining grounded. And then remembering, where you come from. Remembering how you started. Remembering your struggles. Remembering, like, where you came from. And you're going to use that to build your legacy. You're going to use that to build something very positive around you, from you, even. So even though there could be this joy and merriment, and not to say not have fun. Like, go have fun. Good Lord, go have fun, please. Have fun. But you will have the wisdom to know the difference between fun and having fun at the expense of others. Like, they're having fun with others versus having fun at the expense of others. You know the difference. You have that wisdom. You have that groundedness with you, with the Emperor. Okay. And then we have the clover, which is, it's a 4-leaf clover. Like, it's luck. If anybody wasn't sure, it's, yeah, its symbol is luck. So in its first position is happiness and fulfillment of desires. So this is going to be a big week. Again, you had the 9 of Cups over here. Like, this is a big week. We have the Hanged Man. Yeah, your worldview, everything is going to kind of flip upside down. Definitely, we've been getting that from everything. Again, with wisdom, you have this, and strength over here as well. You have the ability to roll with it, to change with it, to change and grow from it. Not just change, but grow. And that's, I really feel, what this wisdom rune is coming into play. And the Hanged Man as well, in, you know, part of it, the mythology, the story, the vibe, kind of, one of the stories for the Hanged Man is kind of like Odin's origin story, where, you know, he hung from the life tree for, I'm trying to remember how many days. It was a couple days. And he gained the ability, he gained the runes, he had to give up his eye, like all of this. So it's like, there was a big transformation that happened. And from that, you know, Odin was able to read the runes. He was able to, like, access so much more magic and mystery around in the realm of the gods and in the realm of, in all the realms. You are coming in, you're kind of, I just like the phrase, you're coming into your own, is coming in. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna get a couple cards to wrap things up, but a little bit of housekeeping is, make sure to like and subscribe if you're vibing here or you just enjoy the read. If something registered, oh my goodness, I don't know what my brain is doing today. I'm missing words. Anyways, if you like Reedy, please click bell like icon thing. We like it. It's great. Thank you. And we also have a membership available with Buy Me a Coffee for $5 a month. We have a bunch of behind the scenes stuff and some extra reads and deck reviews, all that kind of good thing. So that being said, I'm going to get some final cards to, I mean, the board is pretty full. 10 of Wands. Okay, yeah, we were talking about something is ending. Something is ending to something, for something to begin. And you're walking, the 10 of Wands is a heavy load. You've been walking a difficult path for a while. And at times it was very heavy. But you're at the end of that. It's the 10. It's, you are at the cusp. That is ending and something is beginning. Yeah. The King of Wands. You are moving into a new chapter of creativity, of just, again, a king. We're looking at actions. We're looking at fiery passions, and that can be creativity. That can be romance. That can be all manner of things that light you up within. And the 3 of Cups. And you are surrounded by, you will have your group of people with you. You have your support. You will have people around you who celebrate you, who love you for you, not who you represent, not what you represent or what you're coming into. None of that. They love and support and celebrate you for you. That is huge. And we have Judgment. So this is, this, we've already been kind of dancing around it, but this is your calling. Something is definitely happening this week with your calling. Yeah. So that is your read for the week. It is a lot. I am not going to just feel like, oh yeah, it'll be fun. It's a lot. This is a lot. So please, please make sure you take care of yourself. We were talked about those boundaries. You know, just make sure you take moments to yourself, moments to ground yourself, to find your center, you know, and reach out to people who you know will support you. Reach out to those people. And if you at any point get weird vibes or something's not working out with another person, make sure to take a step back, take a breath. Don't react, respond. That's going to be key. Okay, so that being said, take care of yourself. Always take care of yourself. Stay safe, and I love you. All right? Until next time. Bye-bye.